All right, family. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your patience. We are now live. Oh, this is gonna be worth your time, family. This is gonna be worth your time. Important show. I'm gonna say why in a second. But one reason why it's real important. But let's get to a commercial real quick. All right, let's get to a commercial real quick. I'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Get comfortable. Tell your friends, family. This is gonna be a show that could definitely save lives tonight. And I mean that,
Sure.
really mean that. It could definitely save a lot of lives tonight. There's a lot of sickness going on in this world due to stress, due to foods, due to environment. So yeah, let's take this one serious. Share this one with the ones you love. Be right back in about 30 seconds, family. All right.
Bam.
This is a gather. 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 This is a gather of the masses. This is a gather. 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 This is a gather of the masses. This is a gather. 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 This is a gather of the masses.
All right, fam. Without any further ado, want to welcome back to the platform. And before I say that, family, make sure you go to Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, the Spiritual Conference of the Year, Gathering the Masses, is now on there, so you can check out the conference in its entirety on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/blackmagic363. With that being said, gotta welcome back one of our premier health advisors on this channel, none other than KT the Arts Degree. Welcome back, my brother.
Peace, brother. What's going on? Thanks for having
Indeed.
me back. Peace to the family. Good to be back.
Hey, let me just say this real quick before we get started, family. YouTube, a lot of people thought, it's 2024, the whole 2020 scare is over, and YouTube slowed down. They have been this campaign about the health industry, alternative health practices. They're taking down videos, family. So when I say don't take the information KT got or anybody else got for granted, don't take it for granted. They're finding ways to just make things saying, oh, it's medical misinformation. So I just want to remind KT just to make sure he talks in coded language. They took a video down that I did with Billy Carson, and he was talking about monatomic gold, bro, and colloidal
Wow.
silver. And they took it, and the video was 3 years old, bro. They didn't give me a strike. They was just like, we understand you may not be aware of what was said in this video, but it goes against our community guidelines, against blah, 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 blah. And they just took the video, bro. I'm like, Billy Carson, the dude's not even, he's not even talking like a Yaki or KT or something like that, bro. So yeah, family, be mindful. This stuff is serious. They're trying to figure out a way just to take back control over their narrative again.
Hmm.
So yeah, let's just take this serious, especially what this brother say tonight. Let's be mindful of the words and the phrases we use. KT hooked me up with some shit and I'm me saying that word because I want you to know the seriousness. I'm gonna let the brother start out some new stuff that just popped up on his website. I'm about to show y'all in a second. But man, this dude, he stay traveling the country, it's the world, stay getting new stuff, and stay putting us on to this stuff. So KT, start out with the show. Let me go run and grab some of these items, and I'll be
Hmm.
right back, KT.
I bet. So yeah, fam, like I was blessed enough to recently go to Mexico. You know that Mexico holds a very like important place in our genetics because we have our Olmec Maya history down there. And it's very important that we get more involved and to get a better understanding of the flora and fauna that comes from those regions, because those are the type of plants that are genetically consistent with us. Um, when we speak about Dr. Sebi, he always spoke of the story and how he came into healing the world through herbs, and it was through a Mexican, Alfredo Cortez, who was like 94 years old, I believe he was at the time, and taught him how to fast and taught him about the different herbs. And there's so many powerful herbs throughout the world. Africa got a lot of powerful herbs. The Caribbean got a lot of powerful herbs. You hear me speak of Honduras all the time, but one area that we overlook is Mexico. Mexico has a dynamic array of plants that contain, all of the necessary molecules and enzymes that will help to rectify our body and get us back in the state that we need to be. And we are in a period in time right now where our health is truly declining, and is declining not just from the food we're eating, where it, that's usually where it always stemmed from, but obviously because of the compromising of the environment that we live in. So, we're living in an electrified environment. We're living in a pneumatic environment, meaning the air quality is just horrible. The light quality is horrible. The water is compromised. Like everywhere we go, we have all these issues. And that I constantly speak on circadian rhythm. I speak on light. I speak on the morning light. I speak on grounding. These are all elements to kind of get your environmental energy together. But one way to ensure that we're getting the necessary minerals and the necessary algorithms and keys to properly modulate our system and protect it against this onslaught are these herbs that are coming from areas and regions that still have a very strong and powerful charge to them. Very, very electrified, very, very photovoltaic. So, Honduras is one of them. Mexico is another. They neighbors. They're right there. We got Cancun, where we have the cenotes, and we have one of the strongest magnetic flux on the planet comes from that region. That's why it's so potent and strong. And all the plants and the animals that are there, they all benefit from that.
Indeed.
So what you ran and got real quick, Rich?
Well, yeah. I just wanted to show the people. I don't know exactly what you said about, because I want to ask you about. Did you talk about the soil in Mexico and these places?
I haven't gotten into it yet, but I know once I go through, I'm gonna go through each one of these herbs and pretty much say what they do.
Got you.
Yeah, and knock them on out.
Real quick, I want to ask you, because I'm about to start showing the herbs. What it made Sebi, because it's called the African Biomineral Diet.
Biomineral balance.
Biomineral balance. Why do you think he didn't go visit countries in Africa and instead he decided to go to Mexico?
Well, as I mentioned, when you went to go grab the herbs, it was a Mexican that first healed him.
Okay.
Like the only reason why Sebi and he sells the herbs and everything like that is because of a Mexican. And he, they got a group called, they're called curanderos, and these are curanderos and curanderas, and these are the men and the women that follow the rites of the plant life and the healing factors of the herbs and the foraging and everything like that. So he learned from them, and what he learned from them, he brought back to us, to the States, to teach us, because as our heritage is down there, in La Venta, in Oaxaca, by way of the Olmec, so these are the plants and the herbs that we were using millennia ago, when we were playing the rubber ball games, when we were sailing around, when we were doing work that we were doing in those regions, living in such a strong, healthy environment full of sun and plant fruits. These are the plants that we used when we would have our issues, when we would have our problems, to get rid of them and nip them in the butt. And it's nothing that takes, years and years and years and years, because the way we lived, it wasn't like that. It was, it was through the season. We would take these things, and mainly it'd be for preventative measure. But if for some reason, there was ailment, there was infection, there was things going on, we would know how to take it to heal those problems as well.
Indeed. Somebody in the chat said, don't forget Belize. Shout out to the Belizeans.
Of course. Belize, Guatemala, Honduras,
shout
Costa
out to
Rica,
Shine.
El Salvador, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, that whole land bridge, you know. And this is another thing. The Caribbean is a Central America too. It's just that the water shifted. So,
Right.
you know, those are tops of mountains and everything. But if the water was to like go down, you know, recede, there
Mhm.
would be another tract of land
Yeah.
going in
Yeah.
that direction as well, with the Caribbean Sea kind of being like a big lake, so to speak, in the
Mhm.
midst of these two land masses, you know.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
Caribbean is like Central America just broken up with water.
Right.
Yeah.
Fire. Fine. Let's get to some of these herbs, man. I'm very curious. I want
Oh
the
yeah.
family to know what's going on out there with the
Let's get
with
to
some of
it.
these products. Let's start with this one. First of all, I want to give a big shout out. Y'all know I'm a big advocate of the honey.
Don't
Um,
hurt him, Rich. Why
yeah,
you gotta
my fault.
tease the
You know,
family
I,
like
I
that,
just
bro?
I got a whole family to supply, so you know
Look
what I'm
at that
saying.
right there, son. They like, man, I'm getting this, bro. Rich got a whole, that's a year's supply. He be drinking in a
I got, I'm addicted. But I got to give a shout out to the honey. I always tell you, man, I get a lot of products. I have so many people on the show, and I tell you this all the time. I mean, so many people have been on the show, and KT, hands down, have some of my favorite products. The honey is one of my favorite things, period, like out there right now. And I
that's
always
right.
say that, and I mean that from my heart. Like, I absolutely love the honey. And whenever I get a chance, I promote it and I use it whenever I done drove in the rain in Georgia, and they drive like animals in Georgia. I done drove in the pouring rain to get the honey
Get that thing,
40
yeah.
minutes. I was on the highway for 40 minutes with two heads because I usually drive with one. I drove with two heads this time to get the honey. So yeah, shout out to KT for holding us down with the honey. But let's get to some of these products. Very
Yes.
interesting, even the names.
Oh yeah, yeah. So some of the ones that Rich is gonna bring up, some of y'all are kind of familiar with because they've been ones that have been on the site. After we run through those, I'm gonna get into the new
Okay,
ones.
so they know
But
about this.
yeah, that's Cuculmeca right there. So it's funny you picked that one up because put it at the screen, put it to the screen again. Okay, now the actual way you spell it other than a U is also an O. So we're talking about herbs of the Olmec Maya, and that's Cuculmeca.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, yeah.
Cuculmeca. So the word Olmec is actually in the name of this particular herb, and it's a root that is broken up into these chunks. It has a deep red color that kind of bleeds into the water when you
Mhm.
boil it, and it helps with your hemoglobin. It helps with the anemia. It gives you a lot of iron. It has some real powerful pigments in there that help you to absorb and transmit light properly. Very good for libido, sexual impotence, erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation,
Mhm.
women with fibroids, skin issues, gas problems. It's very widespread, but it definitely helps with the blood and any sexual issues that may be going on. And it's mild. It hardly has a flavor. You know, it doesn't matter how long you cook it or how deep that red gets. It's not bitter at all. So it plays real well mixing with a lot of other herbs also, you know. So
So
yeah,
Kate,
Cuculmeca is one of my favorites.
so KT, the instructions for those who get it. It says add 2-3 chunks to 1 pint of steam distilled water. So you're gonna
Yes.
steam the water first.
Well, no, steam distilled water is a type of distilled water.
Oh,
You just achieve distilled water through a process called steamed distillation. This is something you could do if things hit the fan and you got some type of toxic water or something like that out in the woods. You would collect the water and you would actually create a some long type of like a straw, a tube or so that connects from the top of that bottle going down. So as the water is boiling, it's going to evaporate and it's going to collect at the top of that bottle. And then as it condenses, because water condenses, it turns from gas back to a liquid. You're going to see all those little beads. It's going to start to slide down that tube into another container. And as that container collects, now you have pure, clean water that doesn't have any toxins in it because the toxins ain't going to evaporate. They're going to stay down. So that's what steam distillation is. That's why I like using distilled water, because there's nothing in it. It's just neutral H2O. And it has the highest dielectric constant, which is water has the highest dielectric constant, but in water, distilled water has the highest because it's able to properties able to dissolve in distilled water better and more efficiently than any other water. So all the water soluble properties that you would find in a plant is going to end up being absorbed inside that water, and now you have this tea, this infusion, whatever that you can drink that you benefit from.
So if I just have distilled water, somebody asks this, so boil the water. Can I just boil the distilled water and then put the 2-3 chunks in it?
Yeah. So I was just defining what steam distillation is, the process in which they get distilled water. So yes, you can just get distilled water. That's the point I'm making here. Get the distilled water, and then yes, you'd bring it to a boil with 2 or 3 of those chunks. You don't need many, and you can reuse them. So after you make the tea, you drink the tea, the chunks is strained in the pot, you can pour more water in there. So a lot of these teas that I'm providing for the people, these herbs can be used over and over again, at least 4 or 5 times before you discard its contents. You know, you could just put it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer or something like that, you know, or
Indeed.
glass in the fridge, whatever's better for you.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is a good one here. Oh, and somebody asked about pregnant. Can you take this while you're pregnant, KT?
Cuculmeca, you can, yes. A lot of these you can't, because some of these antispasmatics, they deal with spasms of the muscles and things like that. So some of these will actually induce labor. Some herbs actually induce. So when a woman is close to her term and she might not, it'd be like Pitocin, you know, you could take that and then you'll actually induce the labor. The baby will end up coming out.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get to I don't know if you got this, if the people know about this one yet.
Yeah, Muicle, man, that's one of my favorites. Justicia spicigera. It's called Mexican honeysuckle. Bright, rich green leaves with these bright orange flowers coming out of it, and it's very powerful in Mexico because the leaves contain one of the highest numbers of what you call anthocyanins, which are these molecules that create color in flowers. So when you see blues and purples and magentas and fuchsia in the petals of flowers, that's because of these molecules called anthocyanins. They're able to manipulate light and make color. These leaves are concentrated with them, and there's a process in Mexico where they boil the leaves and they end up creating a blue dye. But before it gets to the blue dye, it turns red, it turns orange, it turns yellow, it turns green. So there's companies that make the vegan gummy bears, and they'll use the dye of the Muicle to color all the gummy bears the different colors.
Oh, okay.
You see? So now the properties of this particular herb is going to be autoimmune disorders,
Right.
cleaning your blood, what'd you say?
No, go ahead. Yeah, antiviral.
Anti-C word. You said what? You said
Oh,
COVID,
no.
COVID, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anti-C word, epilepsy, diabetes, parasites, STDs, anxiety, and infections. You know, once again, another mild flavor. It doesn't have a taste. It's also going to turn the water a deep red. So the Cuculmeca and this together, you can mix those together. You'll have a deep red. You won't have no strong flavor, anything like that. And then you can add a little lime. You can add that Nesu nectar honey to it, and it's very pleasant. So that's just the Muicle right there.
Wow. Damn, Casey. Yeah. How is this something that you will have continuously on your site? Is it hard to get this stuff, or is this something?
No, that's why we're doing this, is just to let the people know. I'm actually about to relaunch the site. We've been working on this thing for a couple months, so we got the site kind of renewed and everything like that, and we wanted to launch Labor Day, but we had a few more things to do. So I'll be making that announcement soon, but this is kind of part of the new site that I'm doing because, you know, I've always provided some sort of loose herbs, but now I have herbs. So no, they ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
I'm stocked up with these herbs like I'm stocked up with honey. So
Excellent.
they gonna be here, you know. So you definitely want to jump on it. And they're available right now on the site. All these herbs that we're speaking on right now, they're at soionicbotanicals.com. So y'all can go there and get some of these herbs. And I meant to do a well, I already discounted them actually when I put them up there. So because I know I was going to be doing this show, so all of y'all are going to be getting a discount, and I still have a sale going on. The honey's on sale, the sultriol's on sale, the phytomega, all those things are on sale right now as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. See, let's keep this thing going.
Yeah, what you got?
They know about this, or some people know about this.
Oh yeah, sarsaparilla. So Cuculmeca is kind of a form of a sarsaparilla. It's kind of like the top dog sarsaparilla, and that's a Honduran sarsaparilla, and then I'm coming with a Mexican sarsaparilla as well. And I think it's like a black sarsaparilla. It's real dark colored, real rich, so it's gonna have a lot of iron in there. You know, it's gonna help with skin issues. And then I have, let's see, because
these are big pieces, KT.
Yeah. Those, and that's what I'm saying. They can be reused. That's how strong they are. You put one by the camera. Yeah, that's it. Look at that color. Look at that dark color with that orange and that red up in there. So whenever you're dealing with, so you'll hear people talk about herbs a lot, and they'll say, you know, when you deal with herbs, you're not supposed to boil, and that is not true. It depends on the part of the plant that you're dealing with. So if you're dealing with very delicate leaves, right? Because you got delicate leaves, but then you got leaves like a magnolia leaf or like soursop that's real leathery and thick. But if you're dealing with like a very fragile and delicate leaf, then yeah, that's the one where you boil water and you pour on top and you just let it sit. But if you're dealing with a bark, if you're dealing with a branch or a root, right? Like what you just saw Brother Rich holding, then what you want to do is you want to let that sit in the water for a little while too. You see what I'm saying? You ever notice when it rains outside, right? What happens to wood eventually in the rain, or when it's submerged in water, it starts to swell up. That's because it absorbs the water slowly because it's still porous. So you want it to sit in the water. The longer it sits, the more you're going to get stuff out of it. So you can do 30 minutes all the way up to like 6 hours. It's up to you. You just let it sit in that water. Then after you're done letting it sit, then you cook it like we just talked about with the Cuculmeca. You do it for about 15, 20 minutes, turn it off, let it steep, you know, and you get a lot of more properties out when you strain it, you know.
Excellent.
Yes, and the products are in stock right now. Y'all can go to soionicbotanicals.com and get these herbs. They are ready to go. And shipping time, they're going out quick, because that's why you see I'm not rocking the fro right now, because the hair I got 2-strand twists right now because I've been so knee deep in these herbs and bagging up and everything in the warehouse and all that. You know, I had to put the hair up to get this out, you know. So that's where I've been. I know y'all ain't seen me since I was at Rich's event, but this is what I've been doing since I got back from Mexico with the curanderos, getting these herbs for y'all.
Indeed.
All right, so that's so it's an aphrodisiac. That sarsaparilla is gonna put you in the mood. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do some things after you drink some sarsaparilla. Male and female hormones is getting balanced out, you know, blood flow, vigor, and energy as well. Energy, you know.
Excellent. How many times a day should a person drink this?
Sarsaparilla you could do 2 to 3 times a day. Some of these herbs I'm going to speak on, you can still do 2 to 3 times a day, but you do that for maybe like 2 to 3 weeks, and then you take a break for like a week or two because they're that strong It's modulating your system, and you don't have to overdo it. It's like when you work out, you don't work out 7 days a week. You know, you have a recovery day. You know what I'm saying? You have rest periods in between your sets. You know what I mean? So your muscles could build properly. So you know, it's similar to that with these herbs.
Yeah, sure. TJ Lovin said he going to the site right now.
Oh yeah, go for it. It's ready to go. They all there, and I have the list of what they all do on the site as well. What you got next, Rich?
Okay, let's keep this thing going. We got right here Copalquin.
Copalquin. Yeah, matter of fact, we're gonna can I share the screen, Rich?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let me see how this looks. I ain't look at this one yet. Oh.
Yeah, Copalquin is
wow, this is interesting.
Yes, that's like Cascara sagrada. And Cascara sagrada is for, you know, people that ain't using a bathroom. And that is big with us. You know, people think having one bowel movement a week is good, or having a bowel movement every other day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to use the bathroom. There's this comedian that he does this set where he's talking about people don't boo-boo, and he was like, and please eat your veggies. Veggies is what make the boo-boo slide. Veggies is what make the boo-boo slide. He said that's why y'all angry and mad walk around here, because you ain't boo-booed yet, you know. But we definitely have to defecate. Like, it gotta come out. You gotta get that old worn out stuff out of that colon, man. You can't just have that stuff just sitting there, because then where we at? So I'm glad I have these references. Matter of fact, hold on. Okay, you got that up, but they can still see me. But this is your colon. And if you notice, I'm going to take this off of here. This part right here, when you don't use the bathroom, you get diverticulitis, where boo-boo is diverted, it's pushed into the walls of the colon. And now you see these little brown things? That's boo-boo. That's your bowels, fecal matter getting stuck in the colon. You see? And this is an unhealthy colon over here. This is more healthy on this side. This one got some mucus. This one got a tumor right there. This is the rectum. That's the anus. That's the appendix. And this is coming from the small intestines right here. But this is your colon when it's unhealthy, you know? So these herbs I'm about to get into, when it says colon and it says the elimination system and bowels, it's all about taking that particular organ and revitalizing it, nourishing it, and getting it strong again, you know. So yeah, let me show you. Can you put the screen back up?
My fault.
Yeah, no, you good. I ended up pulling the colon out. All right, so yeah, this is Copalquin, revitalizes the nerve. So when we think about defecating in the health of the colon, we rarely think about how the nerves play a role. Like, the nerves are innervated into the colon, and it is what controls what you call the peristalsis, or the movement of the bowels through that tube. So if you have paralysis of the nerves down there, then it's going to be difficult for those bowels to actually move forward. And then it gets stuck too much. Your body will put all this water down there. And then now this is how you get, you know, like the runs and diarrhea and all of that, because the body's like panicking to get all this stuff out. But then you lose too much water. You get rid of all your gut flora. So now you don't have a balanced microbiome in there no more. And then, you know, you can end up really hurting yourself if you have extensive diarrhea as well. So Copalquin balances out all of that, you know, and gets rid of that inflammation and get your digestive system flowing again, specifically more geared in the colon and the large intestines area.
Excellent. Let's keep this thing going. KT, what is this right here?
All right, so Maluminous B is the
Voluminous.
diabetic formula. All right, diabetes. Yes. So this particular blend of herbs, some of them you're gonna see in this list that I'm going through. Some of them are not in this list. There's a herb in there called Palo de Vibora. If you look in there, Rich, there should be a dark brown woody piece that looked like it got brown stripes. Yeah, that might be it. It looked like it got brown stripes going through it. Hold it to the side. No, that's not it. You'll see it. It looks like cookies and cream almost. It's like brown and cream. There should be a piece in there like that. Well, while he finds it, that it's a beautiful piece of wood. Like when you strip the bark off and you cut the wood has this white and brown design going in there. It looks like marble almost. But it's real good for the kidneys, and it's real good for the pancreas, and it helps with the spleen and insulin production, and it's one of the many herbs in that mix. But the diabetes formula is going to help people, lower their glucose levels. It's going to help people with insulin resistance, getting rid of that sugar craving that you have, that sugar spike, and strengthening that pancreas and those beta cells, regulating melatonin and insulin levels between the day and the evening cycles. So it's real. And then it's a delicious tea as well when you cook it. But if you get some of that Nesu nectar, it's going to make a lot of these teas, going to elevate a lot of these teas for real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what the Maluminous B is. And I called it Maluminous B because melatonin and melanin plays a huge role in light cycles in diabetes, and we don't understand we could catch diabetes from bad circadian rhythm, Yeah.
From not getting good sleep, you saying?
Yeah, so somebody's asking about type 1 and CKD, that's chronic kidney disease or chronic kidney disorder. And there's a tea on the site called Tea de Riñón. So Riñón means kidney in Spanish, and that's renal system. So I have a renal tea. It's kind of like the Renalite tonic that I have, but it's in dry tea form. So you can make like a lot of your own Renalite from it. And it's very powerful. It's very good. And has a collection. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
That's it right there. So we got them. You got these herbs so soon that we still waiting on our labels to come in. So you got some of those temporary labels on there.
So you just make this one. Yo, KT, this one got like fur on. What the
Yeah, that's Chivo Pez with the afro on it, right?
Got an afro on it, y'all.
Right, that's
like a rug or something. Yo, okay, come on, man. What the hell is this, Kate? Nah.
Chivo Pez. They call that. Guess what they call that?
What?
Goat fish root. They call it a goat fish.
Yo, that's wild.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's that goat fish you looking at right there. That's Chivo Pez.
Yeah, this got to be serious.
Yeah, that's Guasima. That's a Guasima fruit.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna go into Guasima too. I could pull that up now. Actually, let me go to Guasima. Yeah. I got it up. Wow, look at that. It's what's up. Put the screen there. It is. See, look. So Guasima is also known as it comes from a tree called the cablote, and this herb helps with that breast issue that women have with the pink ribbon. I'm just going to keep it there. That's coded enough, right? So it's very very helpful when women are dealing with that issue. It helps with hair loss. It helps with dysentery. This is where you have an infection in the colon or the intestines in which you have the runs and you have diarrhea, and it kind of just doesn't stop. There's like this digestive infection that's going on. Bursitis. This is when you have swelling like in the kneecap, this big fluid sac that's very painful in like the knees and the elbows and where the joints are, tendonitis, dermatitis, Alzheimer's. You understand? It gets rid of that plaque around them nerves. Very good with the kidneys and very good with the uterus. So any uteral inflammations, PCOS, endometriosis, you know, this Guasima fruit is going to help a lot with that. This was something that your ancestral women, these matriarchs, were using when they had those issues, and of course just STDs in general is going to help with. But that's what that is in there that you just saw. That's Guasima.
Yeah, that was the last one of the package you gave me. So is there any
Okay.
other herbs? Because I see you got a
I'm
PDF.
gonna go to the Chivo Pez, the one with the fur that you saw. You was like, yo, what's this with the fur on it? Hold on, let's go to that one.
I've never seen nothing like that. That's wild.
Oh yeah, I told you, man. There's some,
That's
and
wild.
this is just the tip of the iceberg, dog. I got some wild things on the way.
What's that? That said alcohol consumption. You know, I drink alcohol.
Oh yeah, okay. Let me do the Chivo Pez, and I'll double back on that one.
Look at that, y'all.
Yeah, so that's Chivo Pez. All right, and this is male reproductive. This is prostate. He's gonna get that prostate strong, right? Viral, arthritis. It's a natural antibiotic. Kidney, erectile dysfunction, suffering from certain pain, bone and muscle pain, you know, from accidents or injuries, antifungal, blood infections, and ridding yourself of mucus. You know, Chivo Pez. All right, so let's see.
Olmec Maya electric herbs family. Wow.
That's right.
This
That's
good
what we
stuff.
that's what we doing. That's what we doing. Hold on. Where we at? It was where we at?
If you can't find it, it's all good.
Here it is. Cardo. Yeah, Cardo Mariano. All right, so Cardo Mariano is like a Mexican version of milk thistle. And milk thistle, you know, a lot of people are familiar with that. Helps obviously with the liver. Silymarin is its most active component that helps a lot with liver issues, and this plant does the same. It helps with the liver, the gallbladder, gallstones, bile. This is the emulsification of fat. So when you're dealing with fat issues and fatty livers and cholesterol problems and pasty bowels, you know, where it look like refried beans because there's too much oil up in there. That's because there's a problem in you processing oil, processing fats in the body, and that's a problem with the gallbladder, you know. So this helps with that detoxing. And then yes, people who do a lot of consume a lot of alcohol is going to help to strengthen and regenerate that liver. The liver is one of the organs where, you know, you can have like 1/8 of your liver left in your body, bro, and your liver will grow the whole thing back. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah. That's
So
whack.
one of the ways we hear about that in mythology is in the story of Prometheus, because he decided to do what? To bring the light from on high down to the people. And, you know, Zeus got mad that he stole the flame of, you know, like of illumination. And he chained him to a mountain and had an eagle fly down and eat his liver every day for the rest of his life. And that's kind of to show how the liver is the first line of defense, kind of with toxicity and toxins, how it gets tore up by all types of things representing that eagle, but it regenerates every single day. So a lot of these herbs that I have here are very potent and strong liver herbs and liver tonics that are going to help with, gallstones, hepatitis, digestive issues, constipation. And yeah, for those that have known that they've had their fair share of alcohol in their 20s and their 30s, and now they're in their 40s and their 50s, and they paying the piper for it, this is a great herb, for that. I spoke about Picos earlier. The Cuculmeca is going to be one of them for the Picos, as well as the Guasima, because it deals directly with the uterus. And there's another herb that I'm going to get into shortly as well.
All right. All right.
All right. So let's push forward. All right. I'm going to just go to the top. So I got Arnica, but this is a Mexican Arnica. This is for bruises, sprains, varicose veins. I didn't even try to make that rhyme. You know what I'm saying? Bruising, sprains, and varicose veins.
Varicose veins.
You know what I'm saying? And varicose veins is, sluggish blood in the venous system, because the veins have no valves. And because they don't have no sphincters, they only have valves. So the blood can't move on its own. There's nothing pumping the blood along except your movement. And as you walk, your calf muscles, they squeeze and make these valves open and push the blood up. But these particular vessels can prolapse and drop and droop. And this is where you get the varicose veins by them hamstrings and in the backside of that leg like that. So the Arnica helps with that. Pain, rheumatism, mold issues in the body, skin infections, and dental problems as well. And it could be used internally as well as externally. Especially with the bruises, the pains, the rheumatism. You can just have this herb soak in some warm oil. You could do olive oil, you could do avocado oil, you could do a walnut oil, you could do a hemp seed oil, you could do an almond oil, or coconut oil. Just make sure with coconut oil, it's very low because it burns very quickly, and it'll infuse in that oil, and then you can strain it and you can rub this on your joints and rub this on your body to help with the pains.
Excellent.
Okay, so Artemisia is pretty much a what you call it, wormwood. This is a Mexican wormwood. So this is for the parasites. This is the dewormer. Intestinal worms, parasites, biosecretion, antibiotic, menstrual issues. Okay. So menstruation. So women that are irregular or bleeding heavy or heavy cramping, this is going to help with that. Muscle leg pain, people that are having the pain in the legs and in the muscles is going to help with that. Fat metabolism, Crohn's disease, in the gut, and arthritis as well. So this is real good for getting rid of the body snatchers. What I'm saying? Snatches, yeah. The worms, man, and worms. And most diseases that we deal with are parasitic diseases, and these parasitic diseases are a byproduct of heavy metals and the xenobiotics, the plastics and stuff that get in us. A lot of times parasites manifest in the body to rid the body of heavy metals and these toxins. But then after that's done, or we just keep feeding them, they're multiplying inside us, and now we just have this problem. So it's not always from eating like raw pork and raw meat and things like that. You can still be vegan and still get bugs up in you because you got these heavy metals and these other things, All right, now this one right here. Ooh, if you gangster. If you gangster, you can handle some Cana Fistula. Cana Fistula, these pods that look like colons. They look like doo-doo, kind of hanging from the tree. And inside there's a fruit wrapped around the seed, and it's kind of gooey, kind of like how tamarind is sticky. And it has this mucilage, and it has all these other molecules in there, these powerful, potent molecules in there that help with the T word, when you get them growths that keep growing and taking advantage of things in your body. We ain't gonna say what it is, but y'all gonna use your imagination. Infections, heart health, skin health, the immune system, the colon, expels phlegm, large amount of iron and vitamin C, also aphrodisiac, and also helps with the gallbladder. So this is when you have some serious infections. When people call me, I always tell folks, I'll be like, yo, let me know if you need any help with anything. And people never let me know things in the beginning. They tell me when people are like so far gone, and they like, yo, they've been dealing with this, and this is what said to me, and this is the type of herb you use when things are like real dire, because it's so strong and so powerful, and it gets such a powerful reaction as well. Cana Fistula. All right. Chaparro Amargo. This is a liver cleanse. This is cirrhosis. Matter of fact, if you want to show me again, Rich.
All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah. I'm about to say you might have stepped away. Just so I could show. Yeah. So this is the liver, right? And this is the liver in different stages of health. So this is a healthy liver right here. This section. Okay. This is a fatty liver. See how it's covered in fat? Look at that, right? And this is cirrhosis of the liver. Okay. That's what all them bumps are right here. It's like it's being broken down, and hepatitis. All right. And if I flip it over, you see right underneath the liver, we have the gallbladder right here. This green little sac, looks like a little zucchini or something, little squash or something. So when I'm speaking of these liver herbs, and I'm saying fatty liver, that's what I'm talking about right there. Okay. When I'm saying cirrhosis, I'm talking about that. All right. So you want to get all these types or conditions that the liver is in back to this right here. Healthy, strong. The liver has over 500 different functions. 500.
Damn, 500.
500. All right. Can you imagine going to work and your boss is like, yo, we got 500 things to do before you leave in 8 hours. And he does it happily every day. All you got to do is provide it with the things that you need, that it needs, and it's going to do you right. All right. So we could head back.
KT, shout out to our livers for doing its thing all these years. 500 functions in a day. Shout out to our livers, y'all.
It would be, I would say it'd be right to say that if you give it what it needs, then the liver is going to deliver.
The liver is going to deliver.
You want the liver to deliver.
Wow.
All right, let's go back to the screen again.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, before KT talk, go family. Y'all know how it gets down on my channel. Get the items on the website, but they're gonna sell out. It's not if they're going to sell out, family.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna go.
Get the items on the website, family. Get them on the website. Go ahead, KT. I'm sorry.
All right. So people heard of Damiana before, but you probably heard of Damiana, California.
Okay.
This is Damiana Guerrero. Shout out to Mr. G, because that's his last name.
Guerrero.
Shout out to the Guerreros, man. But Damiana Guerrero, all right. This is like, Damiana is already known as being a very potent aphrodisiac and male-female libido herb, but this one is like the Super Saiyan version of it, right? So we doing erectile dysfunction. So remember, these herbs that I keep talking about, aphrodisiac and blood flow, I have the Tekanu, and Tekanu go off. So imagine making a tea with these herbs and taking a tablespoon of the Tekanu and put that in that hot tea and stir it up and drink that.
Whew.
Like that's gonna get you so right. All right. So erectile dysfunction, blood flow, libido, aphrodisiac. It's an adaptogen. It's gonna help your body adapt to certain circumstances that your body's dealing with. It's also great for depression. Okay. So it helps with depression, frigidity, weakness and vulnerabilities, and you're trying to kind of get your strength up and you're kind of hitting the wall a little bit, trying to get over that hump. PE, premature ejaculation, anemia. It's an expectorant. Expectorants are herbs that help you to get the phlegm out, to coughs up all that mucus, and muscle fatigue, So big shout out to Blue Pill, going hard right now. You know what I mean? Getting his results. So for the people that are in the gym, really pushing, making it happen, and recovery is a thing. This is a great herb to take because it's going to help with muscle fatigue, where you don't end up burning out too soon and locking out too soon. You go a little longer. Corteza de Encino. This is like oak. This is like a Mexican oak tree. And it's an astringent. And astringents are the herbs that tighten. So you got herbs that are relax and allow a lot of fluid to be retained, and then you have certain herbs that remove a lot of fluid, right? So astringents tighten things out and push a lot of fluid out, and that comes in handy when you get cut. You know what I'm saying? So you get a deep cut, you get a tourniquet, you tie above the cut that keeps the blood from leaking out, right? So it can start to coagulate and clot up and everything like that, right? If it doesn't do that, then you're gonna bleed out and you're gonna have an infection and lesions and things like that. So an astringent is gonna help to expedite that process, and so it's going to help with the respiratory. It's going to help with anemia, hemorrhaging, right? So that's bleeding out. That's losing a lot of blood. Oral health, because we have bleeding of the gums and things of that nature. Antibacterial, hemorrhoids. I have people that ask me about hemorrhoids all the time, and if you think about it, it's something that is prolapsed, and if you have an astringent or something that tightens the tissues, that's going to help to pull them hemorrhoids back up and get those tissues and those muscles in this proper setting again. Cardioprotective. It's an ACE inhibitor. This is a natural ACE inhibitor. It has a large amount of minerals in there, and then oak trees are from the family Quercus. So when you hear the word quercetin, you'll always be able to source that magical molecule that we've been hearing about more and more ever since the 4 years ago. You can always source quercetin there because that's where it was sourced from first. And this particular oak has a large amount of quercetin in it.
Indeed.
All right. So let's see. All right, we got Epazote. So Epazote is very powerful because it will pair very good with that Artemisia for parasites. All right, so it's going to help with the worms and the parasites as well. This herb is used in Mexico in the cooking too for flavor, as well as getting rid of the gas when they cook beans. So when Mexicans cook black beans and all their beans and refried beans and things like that in all their meals, they don't deal with the flatulence like we do, where, oh man, you must have had some beans today because you ripping one. They ain't ripping nothing because they put Epazote in there, and the Epazote helps to regulate that so you don't end up having to pass any gas, right? So it helps with gas, flatulence, antiviral, antipyretic, that means fever, antimicrobial, parasite, dewormer, vermifuge. Vermifuge means vermin, any type of vermin-like, rat-like, parasite-like, creepy crawler you got up in your body is going to get you. And anthelminthic is also like anti-worm, But yeah, Epazote. All right. And then we got, what's next? Okay, we did Guasima. Now I have Guasima fruit, and then I have Corteza de Guasima. So I have the bark as well. This is Hoya de Nespiro. Hoya means leaf. So this is Nespiro leaf. Vitamin C, digestion, blood, respiratory, strengthens the teeth, gets the teeth stronger, and the gums. You might have loose teeth, or they might not even really be loose. They're just not as, your bite is not as strong as it could be. So it's strengthening the teeth, it's strengthening the bone, helps with fat loss, and I'm saying fat loss, not weight loss, because when I'm talking about Ozempic say weight loss, but their weight loss is 50% of that weight loss is muscle and bone. So if you losing 50 pounds using Ozempic, 25 of them pounds is coming from your muscle and coming from your bone. So I'm specifying that it's the weight loss is fat loss. Cholesterol, it regulates cholesterol, anti-C word, skin health, and helps with the colon as well. And has a very, very nice fragrant smell to it. Very nice tasting tea, especially with the honey in there. Quassia. Y'all need to look Quassia up. Quassia is a very important herb in our history. It actually is named after a black man from Suriname who essentially wasn't really very popular in the tribe because he actually helped the enemy who was having a fever. There was a war going on with the colonizers, and he ended up helping them by giving them this Quassia, and then they took the Quassia back to Europe, and it became a big thing, So y'all should look that story up. It's a very, very powerful story. But this is one of the most powerful herbs that are on the planet, and I believe it has one of the highest levels on the bitter scale. So just like there's Scoville units with spice, there's units of bitter, and Quassia is like at the top. So this is a very strong bitter right here, but bitter means secreting digestive juices. Okay. So liver, parasites, ulcers, fever, blood sugar level, gallbladder, infections, dandruff, poor digestion. And you're going to keep hearing this digestion thing and the liver thing because it's like, what's the point of being plant-based, the pescatarian, alkaline, vegan, whatever you are, if the microvilli is not absorbing the nutrients, if your trypsin and pancreatic lipase and cholecystokinin are not assisting in the processing of these macronutrients so you can absorb them and use them. If they're just passing right through you, what's the point? So these are elements that are going to assist in making sure that your system is working at its most optimum level. So when you do eat these great foods, you're able to absorb them properly and use them properly. Okay, we round in third. Now this one right here, near and dear to my heart, man. This is that Quina Roja, that red quina. So quinine, we heard a lot about that 4 years ago with the hydroxychloroquine. Quinine has a very powerful history, and specifically in all of the jungle regions around the world where there's malaria. This is the number one molecule that was utilized even to this day in order to heal people of malaria. And it's done so based on the quinine that's inside of this. And I've spoken on this. It's on my Patreon on one of my Dakotas that I did. I went through the history of it, but you might want to just type in history of quinine and it will blow your mind when you see how far back it goes to like the 1500s with like Jesuit priests and poets, and it's crazy. Like there would have been there would have been no colonization in no tropical areas with our people if they did not discover this plant right here, because this is what allowed them to survive, because they was dying. The mosquitoes was lighting them up. You know what I'm saying? But based on this particular quinine, and not just them, our people as well, of course, we was able to come up out of that, so blood, diabetes, gastric ulcer, cirrhosis, which I misspelled right there, malaria, antiviral, fatty liver, cholesterol, fat loss, gallbladder, hair loss. So this can be used as a shampoo to help with hair loss and to promote hair growth. So you couple this along with the Bantana oil, you got yourself a winner. So you would soak these in some water. I'd soak it for about 20-30 minutes, and then I'd bring it to a boil. I'd boil for about 15-20 minutes, turn it off, let it steep for about a half an hour, and then I'd let it cool, and and you strain it, and it's gonna be this beautiful red color. And you would wash your hair with it, and in washing your hair with it, you don't have to use all that in just one sitting. You could spread it out over the days, and you're going to end up rejuvenating the hair follicles, strengthening the hair. The hair is going to be a whole lot healthier, and it's going to dye it as well. So for grays and things like that. So it couples very well with the Bantana, because the Bantana is more something you put afterwards. This is something you do during the wash, But yeah, it's going to help with the blood. It's going to help with anemia. It's going to help with the liver, infections, and just kind of revitalize you, So any infections. Now, they've been talking about something new, coming around here. They the Planet of the Apes thing. That'll be my other code word. That Caesar, that Planet of the Apes, they hinting about, right?
Yeah.
And this right here would be great, for whatever they planning. You know what I'm saying on that tip. All right. Where are we at now? Soursop leaves, we know what it is. It's always been infused in the C3, but I never really carried it like that. So y'all know about the soursop leaves, the cytogenins. My viral clip that's been on TikTok and Instagram from 6-7 years ago or whatever, when it was at your event at the what's the name, at the St. Francis.
Oh, St. Francis College.
Right. Where they filmed that at. And I was talking about, how the acetogenins in the soursop leaves is what helps compromised cells perform a process called apoptosis, which is cell death. It also has melatonin in there, so it helps with sleep and insomnia, iron, blood pressure, skin, hair, infections, immunity, rheumatism, and gout. A lot of these herbs also help with uric acid levels, which ends up leading into gout. And then that leads into arthritis. They're all the same. They're all these joint conditions, but the joints freeze up because they get so compacted with these glass crystals that are uric acid crystals. And that's what the gout is, So when you have herbs that are able to dissolve those crystals and smooth the ends out and kind of get that sand from in between those joints, and you can move again, because movement is health as well. Like we move because we need to move and get from point A to point B, but the movement is the charge. The movement is the battery. You see, so if things are inhibiting the flow and the movement of the body, then you're going to have a problem keeping your charge, your energy, and your health on point. We're designed to move. All right, so Tordanjil is a Mexican lemon balm. So that's a popular herb in the States, but this is a Mexican version of it. And very citrusy, very strong, very potent. It's also kind of a sedative, and it helps with insomnia. When I say insomnia, when I say it helps with sleep, that means it helps with circadian rhythm. And I know a lot of y'all are not able to sleep. It's hard for y'all to go to bed. It's hard for y'all to wind down. You might be very anxious. Your brain's racing all over the place. You're trying to get your thoughts together. These, as well as the other herbs that I mentioned when I said insomnia and sleep, and the one I'm about to tell you with valerian root, these are going to help to regulate your circadian rhythm, so you go to bed and you rest through the night and you're able to rejuvenate, get up fresh in the morning, so you can go out and ground and get your AM sunlight and then get your vitamin D and keep that cycle going properly. This helps with PMS. This helps with the uterus as well. It's a great female herb also. This is also good for the PCOS, okay? Herpes as well. This is a herpes plant. All right. This is going to help with that. Antiviral, other STDs. It's an aphrodisiac, neuroprotective, indigestion, and infections, and a vasodilator, so it's opening the blood vessels up, promoting flow. So as I was speaking before of astringents, which are going to tighten things, this is going to open things up. All right. And this is valerian root, or what is called valeriana. All right. So sedative, insomnia, anxiety, promote sleep, nervous disorders where you're just too tense and, sporadic, relaxing and deep breathing. So this is real good for meditation. And it's funky. It smells like boo-boo. I'm going to tell you that it attracts cats too. If you got a cat at home and you leave this sitting on the counter, you're going to see that cat all over that thing. It's like it's I don't know. It might be like an aphrodisiac. It's like a perfume, a pheromone to cats that just has them feeling amazing, So if you went to like altars and stuff, this would be something great to offer the boss. You know what I'm saying? Or segment, you know what I mean? Because the cats go crazy over this stuff. But for meditations, burning candles and incense and drinking this tea is going to help you get you in that proper brainwave state, that calm, relaxing state that's kind of in between being up and being asleep. So you can you won't have all those things racing around in your mind. You can kind of focus on one or two things, and truly have a very successful meditation session, or you could just go and lay down and get some rest as well, And I spoke on the Tay de Rignon, that's the renalite tea, acid alkaline balance, kidney health, urinary tract, bladder, GFR rate, your glomerular filtration rate, renal sand, kidney stones, is going to help with all of those things. So those are the herbs, Rich.
Man.
That's the Brady Bunch right there, son.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Amazing. I'm glad you shared all of this. Let me take this off the screen. I'm glad you shared all this with the family. And I want to get to some Q&A. I see you got the chat lit up tonight. So I want to get to some Q&A before we get out of here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who hit up the website. Shout out to everybody who wants to, be healthy and do better for themselves and their family and their friends and their loved ones. This is some serious stuff, y'all. So I want y'all to take this stuff serious. Let's get to a couple of questions from the family before we get out of here. Oh, before we do that, I forgot to share in the beginning of the show commercial from King Simon. I know the brother got something coming up. We're going to get to a quick commercial, then we're going to get to Q&A, family. Be right back.
Hey family, on Sunday, October 13th, I am celebrating 29 years in promotion and production at the new Black Wall Street Mall with tribute to Dick Gregory. That's right, celebrating 29 years, so text that number to get more information. Remember, Baba Ashfar Kwesi and Mirror Kwesi will be closing out the evening with a salute by Dr. B. Sirius, Brother Rich, Red Pill and Blue Pill, Lorenzo Sanford, Sister Golda X, Sister Tassili Ma'at, and so much more. Make sure you go to Linktree/King Simon the Numerator or scan the QR code.
All right, shout out to King Simon. All right, let's get to some of these questions. I've been seeing y'all posting them throughout the night. I should have been saving the questions. All right, let me get to this one. No, that's not a question. That's a comment. Somebody asked if it's addictive. Can it be addictive?
What, the herbs?
Yeah, I guess the herbs. Yeah.
No, none of those herbs are addiction. Matter of fact, they're herbs that are going to help with addiction. If you're addicted to particular things, and pretty much 80% of these herbs that I just talked about all help with blood pressure. You know, so if I talked about hypertension, or if I said blood pressure when I was reading the list, that means that it helps with blood pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a specific herb that helps with kidneys leaking protein, KT?
Yeah, so the Tea de Riñon is going to help with that. The Guasima is going to help with that. The Chivo Pez is going to help with that. Yeah, there's at least 3-4 individual herbs, as well as the renal complex that I have is going to help that one. You know, and this is my thing. Kidney. So kidneys have the glomerulus, and the glomerulus is a bundle of capillaries that have. I keep saying this stuff like I don't have a kidney in front of me. This is the kidney right here, and these things right here are nephrons. All right, and I have a large one over here. I'm about to pull that out real quick so I can show y'all. Hold on, 1 second.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're gonna get to some more Q&A. Leave your questions in the chat, family, and I will get to them. If you asked questions early, I might have missed them, so you can post it again, and I'll ask the brother KT.
All right, boom. Look at that. All right. So these are nephrons, and this is it blown up. That's the glomerulus, right? And this is the Bowman's capsule. So the blood comes through these capillaries and they get filtered, and then the filtrate enters into this Bowman's capsule in this proximal tubule, and that's what these tubes are right here, and that's what ends up in this area. The renal pelvis dumps out into the ureters and that down to the bladder. So essentially, urine is the filtrate of blood, like the plasma, and those 3 levels of filtration, the podocytes, the fenestrae, and the base membrane, prevent large molecules from going through like proteins, you know. So that means that there's a problem in those 3 levels of filtration that's causing the kidney to link, and these herbs are going to strengthen the kidney so that filtration is more efficient, and that does not happen.
Okay. Wow. Any herbs for trapped gas? It can hurt sometimes.
Oh yeah, the flatulence that I was talking about with the Epazote, the one that I was talking about, the colitis. So I know some of y'all are probably just tapping in, but just go back over and watch the show, or just go to the site, because I have the list of what each one of the herbs do. Is very short to the point there too, and I have at least 4 or 5 herbs that help with that. The Copalquin is going to help with that for sure, you know.
Indeed. Yeah. All right. Hold up. Somebody said, why are so many young people getting diabetes? 3 diagnoses in the family. What say you, KT?
Yeah, so diabetes is a light problem, not so much a sugar problem. And you know, blue light toxicity, which comes off all of the screens, causes insulin spikes. Melatonin is the molecule that we utilize in order to go to sleep and regenerate our body overnight. Insulin and melatonin are inverse. Inverse means it's like a seesaw. So if one person is on one end of the seesaw and they weigh it down, the other person's up. And if that person go down, the other person's up. So when insulin rises, melanin drops. When melatonin drops. When melatonin rises, insulin drops. So if I'm looking at TV, or if I'm on my phone, I'm on a tablet, and I'm getting hit with blue light, and it's late, right? And it's dark, and this is the time melatonin increases, so I could go to sleep and get my circadian rhythm on point, right? Then If I'm looking at blue light and my insulin spikes, then that means my melatonin is going to drop. Now I can't go to sleep. Now I can't rest properly. And even if I fall asleep, the melatonin is not going to do the job it needs to do because it's shot, because my insulin levels spike based on the blue light. So we know the youth is video games, social media, tablets, lights, up all night. Like that's the lifestyle they live. And then on top of that, they eating all types of crazy stuff, not grounding. They rocking dunks and Air Force Ones, all day long with the rubber soles disconnected. So when you put all these things together, yeah, man, they definitely gonna have diabetes.
All right, let's get to this next question. Okay, single mother with lupus and fibroid in hospital more than home. Please advise.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with we got a few of those. The Cana Fistula is gonna help with that. You could go to the site and anyone that says autoimmune is gonna help or immune system is gonna help. So the Cana Fistula is gonna help with that. The Chivo Pez is gonna help with that. The Guasima fruit is gonna help with that. The Quina Roja is going to help with that. Soursop leaves will help with that. Toranjil is going to help with that. The Sarsaparilla and the Cuculmeca, so there's a lot of options on the site, that'll help with both of those two issues right there.
Okay. Are there any herbs that should be taken if your gallbladder has been removed?
Well, yeah, you still should take the gallbladder herbs if it's been removed for sure, because gallbladder is like is a concentrator. So the liver is actually what really makes the bile. Gallbladder don't make bile. Liver makes bile. Gallbladder concentrates bile. And when your minerals are off and there's inflammation, it concentrates it too much and it goes from bile salts to bile stones. And now you have gallstones that clog up the gallbladder. And now the bile that gets concentrated in the gallbladder can't go down the common bile duct and enter into the small intestines to emulsify fats. So they just cut it out. But you still should take those herbs because the liver and the gallbladder work together in tandem. They're like Goku and Vegeta. You know what I mean? They work together in order to save the universe and get the Dragon Balls. So I would say still all these herbs that I suggested that are good for the gallbladder, for bile flow, and for the liver should be the type of herbs that you take.
Okay. What are your thoughts on hormones, hormone therapy, and testosterone?
Hormone therapy, none of them injections. Hormones, is going to be based on cholesterol because all hormones, molecular backbone is cholesterol, which is created in the subcutaneous fat of the skin. So being outside in the sun helps to promote the proper production of your hormones and circadian rhythm, because the sexual hormones are regenerated between the hours of 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. at night, and we're supposed to be asleep. Staying away from things like soy, and a lot of these plastics and stuff that increase too much estrogen affects and throws our hormones off, as well as a lot of these frequencies. And in order to get proper levels of testosterone, the Damiana Guerrero, the Cuculmeca, the Sarsaparilla, all of those are going to help with getting that testosterone up, as well as the Tekanu that I have on the site. Those are great testosterone raisers and modulators, and hormones is real good when you regulate your cholesterol and you get more solar exposure outside.
All right. Is there any herbs that can help with pineal gland / third eye?
Yeah, the Nesu nectar. Because when you put the honey in your eye, when you put the Nesu nectar in your eye and you hold it back, it drips back. It goes back to the pineal gland. It helps with melatonin and to cleanse all of that. And then when we went to the store, Rich, what's the one fruit that I said decalcifies the pineal. You remember?
Oh man, I forgot. Which
Come on, man.
shit, man. You done put me on. I forgot which one.
I got you. Nah, tamarind.
Tamarind, right.
Yeah, so put tamarind in your diet. Tamarind helps to get the fluoride out. Fluoride is responsible for the calcification of the pineal. So getting fluoride, excess fluoride out the body is going to help with that. Nessuit nectar in the eye, micro dosing with the psilocybes, is going to help with that as well. Yeah, I would say those would be real good for that.
Okay. We're gonna do about 3 more questions, then we're gonna get out of here. Okay. What should a person focus on for premature grays?
Oh, so yeah, the Quina Roja shampoo wash that I just spoke on earlier, the Bantana oil that I have on the site, but then you definitely want to deal with just a better diet, better lifestyle, and everything, whatever those stresses are. So maybe the valerian root, the lemon balm, the things that are the sedatives that are calming, right? Because those are going to help with anxiety and the stress and to kind of calm you down, and then the other items are there to actually combat the grays themselves,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Website is soionicbotanicals.com. You could let me put this last page up, Rich. Am I still sharing?
Yeah, I can share. Yeah, KT.
Yeah.
I mean, not KT. King Simon's been sharing KT's links throughout the show.
Oh, okay. Appreciate you, King Simon, as always. Thank you, sir. But yeah, soionicbotanicals.com, YouTube, Instagram, Patreons, as well as TikTok, But that's the website right there.
All right. soionicbotanicals.com. Make sure you hit up that website. I'm having in the description at the end of the video also. I'm gonna make sure I put it up there for y'all seeing this video later. There was one question I want to okay. Is the combination of certain herbs dangerous?
Oh yeah. There's definitely contraindications with herbs. I would say with these, there's none in these, but if there's any examples that or particular herbs that this person has in mind, they can ask.
All right. Kwame Sunhorse wants, shout out to Kwame. He wants to know herbs for lungs.
I have a herb called Gordo Lobo that's real good for the lungs. I'm out of guaco right now. Guaco is good for the lungs too. Sea moss, my purple sea moss is good for the lungs. And then there's a couple ones in here that's good for respiratory as well. Damiana you can actually smoke also. That's one of the plants that was in the pipe that we were smoking on back in the day as well. But we have I just want to put it up on the screen. The Corteza de Encino is a respiratory, right? And then we also have the Hoya de Nespiro is a good respiratory as well. But I have Gordo Lobo on the site, sea moss on the site. Those are also good ones for the lungs as well.
Okay. Let me see. Well, we got a super chat. I appreciate the super. And by the way, family, let me share. I haven't shared my. If you would like to show love to the channel, family, you could always hit up the Cash App. If you're thankful for the information, you want to show love to the channel, make sure you hit up the Cash App $ Black Magic 363 family. All donations are appreciated. But let's get to this super chat question. I seen somebody had a super chat donation. I appreciate the super chat, my brother. Can a child take your herb? Can we use the herb together?
It depends on what herb it is. I wouldn't say all of them. Not all of them. And then it depends on the age of the child, because child is a very loose term.
Yeah.
So I need to know the age, and then I could tell you like what herb is good for what age.
Right.
But these herbs are mainly geared towards late teens, young adults, and older. But because children are good. Like you don't really have to do much with them. You just let them kind of sweat it out, get it out their system. They bounce back because they get their thymus gland is still huge. Their immune system is so strong. So things like the honey, the sea moss, those are very, very good herbs for them. Soursop leaves, um, but some of these stronger, more potent herbs that they're for people that are older.
All right. Nasim said, brother, I never got a recording in a gathering. Weren't we supposed to get a film? And yes, I did email them out. I don't know if you got it in your junk or spam, but I did email the full video to everybody. You can email me again if you did not get it, and I'll double check and I'll send it out again. Let me put my email in the chat. But anybody who was at the gathering, I did send out a copy of the gathering to everybody who purchased tickets online or in person. So you can email me, Nasim, at richardmerritt@yahoo.com. I'm gonna be on my computer tonight, so I'll check that out tonight and see what's going on. All right, let's get to another question because I'm enjoying this show. Let's see. All right, what herb will be good for eye health?
Oh, we know the answer to that. That's Nesu nectar. That's Nesu nectar all day. You got any eye issue, get that honey. That's gonna do it. Quick, easy, and to the point.
And somebody said, "Are you familiar with the kidney disease called APOL1?"
Yeah, all these are just dealing with different areas of the kidney, different enzymes, different dysfunctions. But it all comes down to the filtration of the kidney. How well are the kidneys filtering? How well are they doing their job? Are they separating the blood and certain molecules and properties from the plasma and the ions and so forth and so on that are supposed to pass through, and the result of waste that enters the bladder, is it doing it efficiently? So regardless of what the kidneys is dealing with it, that tea is going to help. And the other herbs that I mentioned that help with the kidney are going to help as well.
Yeah, this Silmia Bay said, I thought I didn't receive it either, but it was in my spam. Yeah, family, check. Because I didn't email it to everybody. So sometime it gets caught up in your spam or your promotion folder. So check. But if you don't see it there, it's not a problem. I'll email it out. But like I said, everybody who purchased tickets to the gathering should have gotten it. And if you didn't purchase tickets, it is available on the Patreon. But definitely check, family, because I definitely sent it out to the entire family. Everybody who got tickets, sometime it's just in the spam. Thanks for letting them know that, so they know I ain't just up here BSing. All right, let's get to another. Okay. What herbs are good for concentration and focus for an 11-year-old?
Let's see. What would be good? Taking that tablet away.
Yeah, hey, shit.
Tell them to go outside and ground. That's how they're going to get their focus together. I would focus more on the dietary aspect. You know what I mean? Just getting those fruits in, getting those veggies in. I don't know what the sugar intake and all that's like, and kind of the environmental stimuli that they're dealing with right now. But yeah, I don't really try to promote too many herbs for the youth like that, because their body is still young enough and strong enough where you can do the simple things to help them, as opposed to having to give them, real potent and real strong herbs for that.
Right.
Because
Definitely.
normally it was, it'd be like things like lion's mane and ginkgo biloba and psilocybin mushrooms and chaga mushroom and stuff. It'd be things along those lines, but an 11-year-old don't need none of that. You could just get that child some nice good sea moss gel mixed with a good fruit, and keep them hydrated and get them outside, and that'll get them focused.
Indeed. What is good for parking on situs your grandma? I don't. Is that a word, KT? Parking
Maybe Parkinson's disease is what they're trying to say, and they had a typo. Maybe it's Parkinson's, you know.
Yeah.
But the same herb that I spoke on earlier about Alzheimer's, help with that. The honey's gonna help with that because that's dealing with the inflammation, of the brain. We got what else? All of the sleep inducing herbs gonna help with that. The valerian, because you're dealing with the pineal gland and the rest, so the brain could properly regenerate, in the pineal. But Parkinson's, neurodegenerative disorders, that's all blue light toxic stuff. Get more sun, get more outside, get grounding, and sleepiness. If you're trying to be like, if you're too sleepy and you're fatigued, then, I have the herbs that deal with energy and virility and giving you those type of energy. So I would say go to the site, check the herbs out. They're all listed. I have all their descriptions, and I say go back on this show because I ran through each one of them, and that way you could see which herbs work for you, which work for some people that's in your family and some friends as well.
Indeed. All right. When that being said, family, I think we are about to get out of here. Oh man, I want to thank KT for this show tonight.
Thank you, sir. As always.
We need to do more shows, KT, where we just answer health questions from the community. I think that definitely
we can do a Q&A.
Yeah, I think that definitely better.
We did. That was over a year ago. I think
that was
2 years ago.
Yeah, we gotta do the Q&A again, y'all. Maybe bi-weekly we'll do a health Q&A for the family and really tap into all the issues that are occurring out there with our global family. KT is of tremendous help, and he has a lot of products that could assist a lot of us. So yeah, definitely, KT. Once again, leave your website for the people out there. Let them know. Shout out to the super chats, everybody who said the super chat. I appreciate it. But let them know the website, KT.
Yes, soionicbotanicals.com. Soionicbotanicals.com. SOIONIC. Botanicals.com is where you find the site. And then KT the Arts Degree on all social media platforms. And I have a link tree. So that'll take you straight to the website. And the website is going to be in the description of the show as well. You see Rich is stocked up. He got about 5 of them right there. I didn't want to overwhelm him, so I just gave him a few of them. I'm gonna throw a few more at him, sometime next week, So
I'm good to go.
Jump on them, get some for you, get some for some family, for some friends. We're going into the fall. We're about to hit this. Can't believe it's been a year, because I did a show last year with my man at 3 Milli, right at the top of October, talking about how all of the holidays is coming and get ready. So we got the Halloween, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, all that stuff's coming again. And everybody gets stopped up around that time because we start to overindulge and get gluttonous. So get your preparation. Get your preparation H.
Indeed. No, for real. You know what the season is about. Make sure your body's protected and you feed it the proper nutrients that it needs. With that being said, I will have KT, if you're watching this later on, I'm gonna have the link in the description. Other than that, family, also this Thursday, me and KT are doing the cooking video for Patreon. Do you know what you're making this time yet? Do you know what you okay?
I got an idea, but I'm gonna just show up because I love the fact of you not knowing what I'm making, and you see me with all these things. You like, yo, what you about to make, man?
It's going down. Black Magic's Electric Kitchen on Patreon. A new episode is coming up. Me and KT will be filming the newest episode this Thursday. It'll be up on the Patreon this Friday. So for everybody who's a Patreon member, we're gonna have a new cooking video up by this Friday. All right. So y'all can head over to that site to check that out. Other than that, KT, I will talk to you soon, my brother. Everybody have a good night. Peace.
Peace.